Okay, let's pick the pieces off the board and put them on that board. I created my footprints for these according to the manufacturer. And yeah, seems to work. According to the manufacturer data sheet, that is. And you can already see this will be packed even denser than on the breadboard. At least in that dimension. Just seeing something that I don't like. Yeah, I have not enough space for really high pins, so they have to go. And now comes the display. Give me a sec. So there will be little caps going over the tactile switches. Red was that one here. That will obviously stick out of the case. And the display should be not far behind in height. Yeah, I need something to put under the display when I solder it. Give me another second. Let's try a piece of foam. I think that is okay. Just apply some pressure in the middle. So now it's also a little bit springy, which is okay. And it should be, and the whole thing is screwed into the case. Yeah, it should press against the plastic and I should have enough space in height here. Hopefully. We'll see. We will see. Time will tell. Yeah, what else goes onto this board? Ah, yeah. Of course, the connector. Okay, last 10 solder joints. Got the connector glued with some Loctite as always. It doesn't look half as bad from the top side as it looks from the back side. Okay, so yeah, my first self-etched board since about not quite 32 years or so, 33. I don't remember exactly. Yeah. Now let's connect that to the controller again. Yeah. We are a cable and let's see if it works. So if you remember, the board will go somewhere here. And then we have a cable going down here, probably, yeah, that's the best opportunity. Diving in here and going, sorry, to the back, where somewhere down here I will have the controller board. And yeah, I will cut that cable now in my OCD manner. Okay, the next half hour also should be dedicated to crimping sand. Okay, I think I need a break. Okay, once more. Now I just have to get that all into the connector housing. That's it. And this nut should now fit on here. Oh, a little bit stiff. Yeah, but it fits. Yeah, well, every day you learn a little bit more. So, one thing I learned is you don't take the tightest fit pocket. So I could probably make the crimps in the 1.4 and 1.6 pocket, but then it's very hard to get your connectors back out again. So I take one size bigger, 1.6 and 1.9. And yeah, that's much easier to work with. The second thing I learned is that actually there's no need to shove in these connectors into the housing using just the thrust you can exert via the cable, which is a good thing because these cables here are very thin and they bend. They bend until before the contact really snaps in. So yeah, and the people making these contacts and housings obviously have thought about that too, and that's the reason you have a lot of space here where you can shove in some tool. Yeah, I'm just taking some stiff wire and then you can shove the contacts in and everything is just totally peachy. And the result looks much better than, yeah, this contraption. Okay. Anyway, I need another part from in here. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend to more than using more than 10 contacts with the connector like that. Yeah, hopefully that will fit to my breadboard without any prolonging, soldering, having longer pins here. So, I'm not sure if that connector here really makes a connection, but let's try it. Doesn't look like it. I produced some shorts here. Okay, what if I remove all connections to the Arduino? So something, yeah, the power LED on the Arduino is on. Ah, yeah, well, debugging. I'll be back. Yeah, I actually, shit happens. I actually crossed the yellow and the green cable here, which of course leads to some serious problems. Green should be the ground, and yellow is the I2C clock. Yeah, well, try to switch that. Bad news. I have a second of these displays, and if I just connect it locally here on my breadboard and switch it on, it works. But if I connect the one over here and power, and yeah, I measured all that in between, and then I switch on, nothing happens. And yeah, the connections are there and power is there. So two possibilities. First, I killed the display. Always a possibility. Through static, maybe that foam pad was not ideal. Or, as an alternative, I give to you the signal through the quite long wire gets too distorted, the I2C signal. And that means I have to get the oscilloscope out and just, compare the waveforms when running locally and running over there. So I hooked up the oscilloscope probes as good as I can, and yeah, what I'm basically doing here is I make a single shot on channel 1, which will be shown in a second, on a falling edge, because I2C works with pull-up resistors. So if nothing happens on the I2C bus, it's high. And as soon as it goes low, it is basically driven low by open, in this case not open collector, but in principle, something is happening. So I have this on single shot, and if I switch on the Arduino, dash, we get something. And when we look at it, we see the edges are not ideal, but the connections are not ideal. But if we scroll now through the data, yeah, I don't know what that spike is, but here is the clock signal is again doing something, and yeah, here's a more interesting part, some ones and zeros, and we scroll into that. Yeah, so definitely we can read that, and if we can read that, yeah, and bottom line is 0 volt, top line is 5 volts. If we can read that, then chances are high the display should be able, the I2C controller on the display should be able to read that. So Yeah, and in fact, the I2C controller on the display does read it. So now I will change the setup and go over through the log cable through here, and we see what the signal is that's ending up over here. Now here is an interesting thing. I still have a ground through the oscilloscope. So if I supply this ground here through the oscilloscope with ground and I switch on, you can't see it, huh? Yeah, shit happens. Let me rearrange that a little bit. I have ground here. Okay, now I'm switching on with my left hand. It's working! As long as I have the ground connection. So something's wrong with my ground, but I measured it. Ah, done. Okay, I'll come back to you. Okay, so I basically took the yellow cable out again and took a 50-50 gamble because from contact to contact there was no connection, and recrimped one side, and then I had a connection. Yeah, just with continuity test, and now the display is working. But since we have the oscilloscope out, I still want to measure the signal quality. Okay, I just captured the clock, and as you can see, signal quality is not really worse, even after yeah, a good 2 feet or yeah, a little over half a meter, 60 centimeters or so, of really shitty connectors and cable. So yeah, and as I said, it's you probably can't see it. Ooh, working. Yeah, I hooked up all the cables again, hopefully, and still some debugging ahead. Run, pause, stop, right button, left, down is not working, up is working, right, read, and store is not working. So store and down are not working. And always good to get your circuit diagram out. So yeah, a little bit uneven, you have to live with that. So store is not working, and what was it? Down. Down is also not working. So this should suggest our stop is working. So these are all on the column line 1. So this would suggest that there's still something wrong with the board, with about here. And then going over here. That's the most likely explanation, because otherwise yeah, they don't share the same row. Yeah, this is row 2, this is row 3, so this would say there are 2 breaks on the board. And this would be 1 break somewhere here. So yeah, let's check for that. Yeah, it was, yeah, one trace of these. Yeah, you saw them. They are not very nice, but now we got store, read, write, down, up, left, stop, pause, run. A whole user interface. And yeah, before I end this, again, overlong video, some icing on the cake. Okay. Caps on the keys. So green for run, yellow for pause, red for stop, the cursor keys, and read from memory, store to memory. Yes, I will be able to. I don't know what I will do with it, but yeah, it was 6 lines, with 9 keys. It was right, and it's working now. And now we can, after we installed this inside the case, which will be a pain in the ass, work on the controller. Till then, bye.